We continue here. The Department of Water and Sanitation has urged people to exercise caution as the country's water levels rise due to recent heavy rainfall experienced in the country. Gauteng has had recent flash floods in Johannesburg, which led to some people losing their lives. For more on this, we are joined by Department spokesperson Wisane Mavasa. Ms. Mavasa, pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, talk us through the risk posed by the recent rains, especially for those residents who are living in low-lying areas.
Thank you, Santa, and good afternoon to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika, and thanks for having me. What we would like to urge is that people need to be extremely cautious around water, especially during these torrential rains, because as you are aware, they come in the form of flash floods, and they pose a high risk or danger to lives if people are around areas such as floodplains or those who are around rivers, dams or streams, and even wetlands, because you find that there are some structures that are around those areas, and these that get to be submerged at times during this time of rainy season. So we have to caution that, be aware that these rains can really pose danger. We've seen that happening already here in Gauteng, as you specified, in Soweto, as well as through the DWS, where there were people who were performing some rituals there in the water, that people need to be aware that water can be very dangerous, and even low-lying bridges, people should not attempt when it's raining, because the current may tend to be very powerful and can even take away. We've seen situations where they've taken away vehicles into the water and run them through the rivers. So because those streams are meant to transfer water into the rivers as well as catchments.
Now, this is also a jolly time when people will take their celebrations to near places of water to cool themselves and also for enjoyment as well. What is your message, especially to parents, considering the dangers of drowning children?
You are very right. It's very, because where I am right now, it's extremely hot. I'm not sure what the temperature is standing at, but very, very hot. So it's understandable that people who have access to bodies of water around them, they would like to go closer to them and probably even cool off, or just to experience the cool of those places. Children have the time. They are very, very curious and sometimes clumsy. They can get closer to those waters, and we urge parents that they keep an eye on these children and try by all means that they must never let them off their side, or if possible, they must never even let them anywhere near these places, because we've seen a situation even where kids who know how to swim, they end up drowning. It can be a swimming pool, it can be a river or a dam, or even streams, or sometimes you find that it's places where it's kind of like a quarry where it was just a dark trench and then it end up filling with water. We would like to advise that parents must keep an eye and must never let children come anywhere near closer to those areas.
Now, at the same time, this rainy season has also boosted the water levels in the country's dams, which were on a steady decline in the past few weeks. This must be welcome news.
This is great news for us as a country, because, as you are aware, we are a water-scarce country, and we depend on these reservoirs to store our, this commodity that we use to as you're aware, that water is life. So when we have rains, we normally don't receive, we do not have actually a standard rainfall as a country. We have sporadic ones, so that's why we experienced earlier, as we started spring, some heat waves as well as, delay in rainfall. So when this happens, we really celebrate as the department, because we at least are able to catch enough water to preserve and to keep us for a little while until the next rainfall. Because at the moment, it's our primary or our traditional source of water, surface water, which comes from the rain. Though we look into other alternatives of getting this resource so that it's readily available, this remains our primary source.
Now, despite the figures showing an improvement in the Eastern Cape, it is known that the province is experiencing water supply challenges, particularly in Nelson Mandela Bay. Give us more information on this.
In the Nelson Mandela Bay, the situation there, Algoa, is continuously declining. And as it declines, we are sitting right now, from last week it was standing at 16.1, now we are sitting at 15.8 this week. And when it declines like this, as it continues, 16%, when you look at other areas which are standing at 100% or 103%, is really an eyesore. So we'd like to encourage residents there to use water sparingly, because as they continue to use water nonchalantly and not caring that we are really struggling in that side of our country, we may have our taps running dry because the water levels are continuing to deteriorate in our water supply system.
And what are the practical ways or tips that people can ensure that water is not wasted? I mean, one thinks about some tap leakages at times that are not even attended to.
Yes, you are very right. We've picked up that water leakages is one of our biggest weaknesses as a country, and especially at municipal level reticulation part of it. We've seen that most of the time the water that comes through into our reticulation system gets lost through water leaks. Sometimes we leave taps as we are in a hurry, especially now during festive season. You know, we are so excited and all that. People need to make sure that they check their taps, that their taps are closed. There's no drips even happening, because if you were to count those drips happening in your tap throughout the day, you find that it's a bulk of water that could have been used properly. And also the leaks, they need to be attended to on time and also be reported to authorities, local authorities, so that they are attended to as soon as possible. And this will help a lot in preserving this water and for us to have enough water for everyone, while we also looking at other means of ensuring that there's adequate resource for everyone.
Department of Water and Sanitation spokesperson Wisane Mavasa there, giving some helpful tips, especially in ensuring that water is not wasted at this time. So please do ensure that where there are leaks, that you have them attended to as soon as possible.